This is Chris Bigger, Superintendent of Schools in Chambersburg School District. The podcast is designed to support one Trojan community and a quest for all of our schools to be schools of distinction by 2030. So this podcast is an educational exchange to talk about strategies and ideas that we are going to use to accelerate our path forward. So today I have Brad Ocker, been with the district for quite a while, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about some of our future ideas. So Brad, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the district, and some of your roles?
Sure. So I've been in the district, I essentially started in, I guess it was 1999 as an elementary teacher. And I taught,
you were in the 1900s.
I was in the 1900s. I taught third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade. I looped, and I did that for 4 years. And then I went on to another local district, Fannett Metal, and I was their elementary principal, and then I became their high school principal as well. I was there for 4 years, and I returned back to Cash's, and I was at Cash's since 2007 as an assistant principal. Then I became an associate principal. Then I became the principal for about 8 years. And now I'm actually in a new role, Director of Career and Community Partnerships, which is a strong passion of mine in regards to careers. And I've always been, as an educator as well as a high school administrator, I was always very interested in the career side of things. So
it just beams out of you. Everything you talk about has always been that way.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So you've been part of high schools for a while.
Yes.
So what do you see changing in the future as high schools get maybe redesigned or rethought about their future? What do you see?
Well, it's actually at all three levels, nationally, it's a state level and locally. Everyone is now talking more about not just the high school diploma, but what are you bringing to the table that makes the high school diploma more like currency, more valuable.
Like what credential do you have?
Exactly. What credentials, what competencies are you bringing to the table? So with all the different things that students complete at the high school level in search of their credits to graduate, now we're hoping to bring in some certifications as well as work-based learning from several different businesses in our local area.
What would that look like for someone who wasn't interested in that as a graduation requirement? What would that look like for a family and a student?
For a family or student who's not
to
interested?
do workplace or internship, what does that mean? Like in ninth grade it starts, or what year?
Sure. Well, we're hopeful that we start something like this K-12, and throughout the years, then a student would understand better the careers and opportunities that are available to them in the community. But then especially in the 7th and 8th grade year, we were looking for more of the exploratory, so that way a student comes into the high school more prepared with understanding what the opportunities are that are available to them in 9 through 12. And then, of course, in 9th grade, really, with our 9th grade academy, expand that so the students really have a great understanding of what their 10th, 11th, and 12th grade years look like, so we can align them into an academy-type structure for not only academics, but also the work-based learning pieces.
Makes sense.
And then our ultimate goal is at the end of their 12th grade year, or during their 12th grade year, they would have an opportunity to do some work-based learning through an internship, do some, or at least attend some guest speakers, and maybe do some job shadowing, things of that nature, but definitely graduate not just with a high school diploma, but for some competencies and certifications.
And we have students doing that now. When you were sitting in the high school principal seat, what areas did you grow in that?
Sure. So one of the things that I've focused on, not only just the high school principal, but was the career piece, like I mentioned earlier. And we worked with some local businesses. One of them really started in 2018 with a partnership with JLG Industries. And JLG is, of course, not just here in Chambersburg, but it's in Chambersburg, McConnellsburg, Greencastle, and so forth. But throughout that opportunity, we've had several student cohorts go through. And even through COVID, even though there was a slight hiccup there, since then we now have not just Chambersburg School District going, but we have 20 sending school districts and almost 200 students that will finish their high school career at JLG. And then one of the ultimate goals is that JLG has 70% return rates, so that way they hire and retain that many students.
So JLG can't take all 700 of our graduates.
It can't.
So what work have you been doing lately to somewhat expand that concept?
Sure. So really looking at the South Central PA data and understanding what is needed in the next 10 years with workforce development and so forth. I've started looking at the different academies that we could probably offer here at Chambersburg. Also working with local businesses and attending a lot of our board meetings with our local FCADC, the chamber board, as well as the chamber has mixers and so forth. So I'm really getting out there and trying to establish some partnerships. But the coolest thing for me is that the community seems very open and understanding.
I was just going to ask, are they receptive to the
They're
idea?
very receptive. They really are interested in what we're planning to do here in Chambersburg. And I'm really excited about what we have to do. But again, we're in the planning stages right now. It's developmental. We want to develop a great foundation, so that way in the next 2 to 3 years, we're setting things off and soaring in the right direction.
Do you think all students should have to do some type of internship or apprenticeship or something like that?
I think definitely all students need to have a taste of either an internship or a real extreme job shadowing opportunity.
Right.
Because if not, I try to tell students, and I did this as a high school principal, once you leave these walls, you're going to pay for everything that you earn.
Sure.
So why not have the experience now where we can guide you and assist you rather than wait until later and then you're wondering, okay, how do I do this?
And as you've been out there, what are some high interest academies that you're exploring right now that we would like to consider but we haven't decided on yet?
For sure. So, you know, I've attended some conferences, I've talked to a lot of people. There are 5 to 6 that really are standing out that we would be building probably brand new. Maybe like something in the long lines of manufacturing and robotics.
Okay.
Aviation is really taking shape here in Pennsylvania. The governor is really putting a lot of money in that. So aviation with science, aviation, and drones.
Proximity to airports too, or not
Absolutely.
far.
Hagerstown Airport right down here in PIA, which is Philadelphia Institute of Aeronautics. You know, it could be a partner. But then on top of that, definitely the healthcare. There's a huge need for healthcare.
Anything in healthcare.
Anything in
Allied
healthcare.
health, biomedical, everything.
Anything.
Yeah.
And then, of course, here we sit in education, and there's a huge need for education, educators and so forth. So, you know, those are 4 right out of the gate, but we already have a lot of things established at the high school, I think, that are going to assist us. We just need to bring them all together and formalize them.
And will this compete with Franklin County Career Tech or no?
It will not compete.
Okay.
Deb Luffy and I have met with Leslie Schumann, the new director out there, and we want to make sure that we do not duplicate any of the services that they provide, but ultimately, you know, be like an extra, like almost a twin, but not duplicate.
That makes sense. And as far as our Cassius and CMS, would this programming or academies be for both schools? It wouldn't matter what school you're in to participate.
We really want to make this a, like you said, one community. We want to make this a high school opportunity, not Cassius or CMS, but both. I think that's going to be great for not only just the students, but the faculty there and as well as the community.
So what advice do you give to parents right now? So we're entering maybe this future arena as current, you know, middle school students start to get prepared for a high school of a change. What would you tell parents?
I think the biggest thing for a parent right now is we are providing a lot of services here at the school. Really get involved to understand what we are providing. One thing that I keep saying over and over is a program called Zello. And as I mentioned earlier in our conversation, you know, K to 12, there's a Zello component, and Zello will provide us and every student a career portfolio that down the road, once they graduate, they can actually utilize that to support themselves as they go forth and try to get themselves.
And that's basically
employed.
to say what interest you're in, what careers you're interested in.
Careers, but not only that, but it also provides a student opportunity to look at different colleges that are out there, and you know, and it really breaks it down for them.
Right. Each school does a specialty sometimes, and you want to make sure you go to that one that has your career interest.
Correct.
All right. Well, Brad, thanks for coming on. You're the 3rd person we've interviewed. Appreciate your time. It sounds exciting, and I look forward to following up with you every couple months.
You bet.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Good job.